Hello friends, welcome to iLive Life and Purpose. Today I'm going to share a few thoughts and ideas with you around love and money. Right? We will discuss specific areas of money and finance in a relationship that could completely destroy the relationship. For those of you who are new to this channel, welcome to iLive Life and Purpose. My name is Michael Charles from Leading with Intent, where I help people master the essentials of life, money, and relationships. Secret of intentional living so they can create lasting results both in their personal and their professional lives. Please remember to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time I go live or upload a new video. Now, for the past few weeks, we've been discussing money and finance, right? Today, we're taking a very special look at money, mindset, and beliefs that have the potential to destroy our relationships. Let's face it, most people come to the altar with financial baggage, right? Debt, beliefs, and other emotions about money that could literally kill the flame in your relationship before it's even begun. If you look at the statistics, one of the biggest reasons marriages end is because of financial issues, right? Which translate into stress on the relationship. For those not to become major issues, I suggest that most people discuss these in the dating and engagement phase of their relationships. If you're already past that stage, well, it's not too late either. We're all looking for financial stability in our lives individually and as couples, right? Without that stability, the mood in the house could become sour. And so we have to look at these from both the dating aspect and from the marriage aspect. Money problems can cause drama, right, in relationships, and it can trigger emotions and feelings that were deeply seated in our subconscious. It could be from experiences that we've had in the past with lack of money, poverty, or just the fear of losing money, or maybe being homeless, essentially living below certain standards of living. Take, for example, someone who's struggled all their life to make ends meet. Right? While that person may be okay with living below certain level of comfort, the partner may not be able to tolerate it. And if the person's view of money is radically different and they don't want to improve, it could spell the end of the relationship. So here are some tips to help you during the money discussions in your relationship. The first one, and this is a big one, right? This is a major one. And that is, tell the truth about how much money you make. I mean, for goodness sake, right? Don't try and lie about how much money you actually make, right? You will soon be found out, and it's not going to be a pleasant discussion. I mean, how are you going to justify it? A lack of self-respect, a lack of self-esteem, wanting to show that we have more and can provide more than we actually can. I mean, that essentially is setting you up for a failure very early on, or again, soon enough, you'll be found out. The second tip is don't date someone because of their money. Now, it may feel that life will be much better with them, but in the end, is the headache of being in a bad relationship worth it? Right? Being under someone's control 24/7? I mean, that's why I really like the fact that people go into relationships independent of their needs and find each other. And in that process, found out that they can't live without each other. That's where I lean. That's my belief, right? If you go in because of what the person already have, or because of something you want from the person, you're setting yourself up for failure right from the get-go. So please don't do it. Number 3 is to date according to your budget. Now, again, this goes back to the very first tip where people tend to lie sometimes about how much money they make because they want to impress their girls, right? They would probably go out and borrow a car that's not even their own to take a lady to a restaurant or to some date somewhere when in fact the car is not their own, and the money that they're essentially portraying to be making is really not the amount of money they're making. And again, that spells trouble down the line, because again, you will soon be found out, unless of course you're a player playing the game and doing your crazy stuff out there, and you don't care for long-term relationships. But if you are in it for long-term relationships that may lead to marriage, then of course this is not something you want to do. A date at a burger spot may be just as pleasant and enjoyable as a date at a very expensive spot. The idea is getting together, getting to know each other, enjoying each other's company. That is what matters. Of course, I'm not saying going out to nice and fancy spots is not something that we may want to do or something that we may aspire to. But I'm just saying, if you can't, don't fake as if you had the kind of money to do that, because it will spell trouble for you later. The fourth tip here I want to share is develop joint goals. And this is more for those who are in the married stage of relationship. Work together to develop joint goals in terms of income, career ambitions, savings, or spending. I mean, my wife and I, we've done this where throughout the year, we would always estimate how much money we expect to be making over the next year or the next couple of years, because that gives us an idea of where we should focus our attention. Right. Again, if you remember, we've talked about having multiple streams of income, and this is where this comes into play. Thinking about how much money you'd like to be making and where you're going to create those different streams of income to be able to help add on to the income that you have coming in. Remember the difference between passive income and active income, right? Active income is income that you earn based on your effort. Passive income is money that you earn based on effort you've put in months or years ago. So the idea is for you to generate enough passive income that you can live a life that's comfortable. But before most of us get there, we have to get through our current situation first. And that's why I'm sharing this tape with you now. And also, if you remember last week's video, I talked about debt and credit, how you could view your credit report and some tips and ideas about debt and debt management that could help you. But I'm encouraging you to discuss these things going into a relationship and in the marriage. If you're going into the relationship with a lot of debt, it's quite fair to let your significant other know about all the debt you're going to bring into the relationship. In some states, the debt that you have together with your spouse is the other person's responsibility, but the ones that were before may not be. But you just want to be mindful of that and share those, because in the end, we are going to be together. We are going to want to be taking care of these things together. So it's important that we come out and be clear about where we are, where we stand financially with the person we're going to spend the rest of our lives with. Understanding that is a basics and is foundational to relationships, right? We have to understand and plan and budget for the monthly obligations that we have, so you can properly manage them and know that how much money you need to make in order for you not to be in the reds. Okay. Now, the other area that I believe that most couples should spend time and talk about is lifestyle and living expenses. A lot of people don't talk about these, and with reason, right? For some people, it's hard to even think about taking care of their monthly obligations, let alone talking about lifestyle expenses. You have monthly obligations and you have lifestyle expenses, and those are usually money from residual income that you have that you can use to essentially live a much better lifestyle. Do things that you wouldn't otherwise do if you didn't have the money. Things like vacationing, buying nice things for each other, giving money away, or maybe planning for home ownership. And frankly, planning your giving. All of these things are things you should be talking about as a couple in order to avoid getting to the point where money becomes a factor that could cause the end of your relationship. There are so many other stressors out there on relationships. If we can avoid money being one of them, that would certainly help. That's what I'm encouraging you to do today. Now, the last one and the seventh one is children. I know. A lot of us are not thinking about children in that way, but having children is expensive. It's expensive to be buying milk and diapers and then constantly be doing stuff, having to buy all these different things for kids. I have 2 kids myself, so I know. So my point is, you need to be very mindful of this and understand how many kids you're going to have as a couple, right? That's going to have a big impact on how much money you get to keep at the end of the day, because having kids is another expense. This is a big deal for a lot of people. There's a board game I used to play way back before I actually was married. Before I played the game, I never thought of raising kids as being expensive and frankly a liability monetarily, right? Not that having kids is not worth it, but there is a cost to it. And if we don't plan properly, it could become another stress factor in the relationships. So there you have it. Money mindsets and beliefs and tips that if you don't pay attention to, that could destroy your relationships. So if you have got value out of what I shared today, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that bell to be notified every time I go live or upload a new video. I also have a welcome gift for you to help you get started in your journey of discovery, growth, and becoming. To claim your free gift, visit my website at leadingwithintent.com. Until next time, my friends, I know you're fire.